Hey, Sonia here, and welcome back to balloon tutorials from Rainbow Balloons. Now, if you were here last week, we made a ladybug, or I made a ladybug. Perhaps you made one too. Let me know in the comments below if you did. But we did this cute little ladybug, and I talked about how it could be added onto a flower design, and we're going to go ahead to look at just how to do that flower now. So if you are a competent twister, or even, sorry, competent's a big word there. If you are someone who enjoys twisting, beginner, intermediate, and of course advanced, you've probably made a lot of flowers because they're quite a staple in the balloon art industry, as it were. So what I'm going to show you today is my preferred way of using it, of creating the flower. And of course, you probably have your own which works well for you, but something that really strikes me, early on in my ballooning journey, I had a book. It was a wonderful book, and I learned a lot about balloon twisting through it. But one of the things that really got me was the flower. The way in which the design was shown to us, well, to me perhaps, as the new balloon twister, it was quite difficult. The pop rate was extremely high, and that is extremely off-putting to someone who may be starting out their balloon art journey. So there's always more than one way to do a balloon, and I'm not reinventing anything here, but it may be a new method to you that you hadn't considered before, or it gives you an aha moment and you might be able to introduce that into your own balloon work. So the flower that we're going to create, it is fairly straightforward. Look at that there. And it might introduce to you a different way of thinking about how you do sculptures of your own. Now, there's a bit of a surprise, and I'm going to wait till the end to tell you because it's a pretty cool surprise, I think, and I hope you're going to enjoy it. But more on that later. Watch till the end of the video to find out what. So, working on the flower. I've chosen here this beautiful blue colour, the Caribbean blue, which is one of my favourites from the Qualitex range. I've inflated it and left it a tail of approximately 20 centimetres or so. And what I'm going to do is start, of course, from the nozzle end to create the flower. With my petals, they're going to be approximately hands width high, long. So I'll find that point and twist it off. I'm going to fold that balloon back on itself and twist this, the knot around the, twist the knot around from the nozzle around the twist with thread. And when it's at this point, introduce it through the center, and that helps to lock it in place. So we're going to go ahead to replicate that 5 or 6 more times. So again, when I was starting out, you know, if you told me, okay, this is how you do the flower and it's got 6 petals, I believe you, that's gospel. But as my journey advanced, I learned that, hey, it can be 5 bubbles, it can be 6. Hey, if you're crazy and you've got the ability to, 7 or 8. But it generally 5 or 6 is a nice point. So I'm going to go ahead and create more. So we're aiming as we do it to try and make them all even in the size, of course, as you do. One of the greatest challenges, of course, is to ensure you are getting your proportions consistent. And as you twist it, before you join it in to the rest of your twists, you can gauge, is that bubble looking the same size? Is it consistent with the others? If you think no, you can just play with introducing more or removing the air as you twist here. So manipulating it a bit whilst you're twisting. We've got 4, and I'm going to go ahead to create the 5th one. I often work against my chest if I'm out in the field, so forgive me if I bring it to myself for a moment. Okay, bit of a bobble of a mess there, but let's straighten it out. So right now I'm looking at the 5 flowers, and I'm pretty happy with that, but I'm going to go ahead to make a 6th one and see if it makes me even happier. Who knows? You know what? I think it did. Look at that. Alright, so if you do find that some of your bubble sizings are a little bit off, which is common I find, even for myself, I will play with the positioning of the petals. So I might force this one to go in a bit and the one surrounding it to come out a touch. See how that has manipulated the shape there? But I'm going to put it back to where I like it. Alright, so we've got a bit of excess balloon here, so you can go ahead to take your scissors or even just remove that in the method you choose. Not that one, but maybe that one. I like to tie that off. Ensure the excess is removed. Now, the second balloon here is a 160Q, which I like to work with a lot when doing flowers. I'll always grab it over a 260, however, do whatever feels right for you or whatever you have on hand, more to the point. When I've gone ahead to inflate this one, there's only a small tail, if you see there, about 3 fingers. Starting at the nozzle end, we're going to twist off a small bubble, and it's about all we need. It's going to be the center of our flower. We're going to introduce it into the top. And position the remainder out the bottom. So what we're going to do here with the top is give the nozzle a pull. We're going to fold it over to the, or pull it over to a side, and then basically we're looking at this at the moment, pulling it all the way through, nozzle back to the front, and you can circle it a bit around the balloon to help make it a bit more circular. And generally with that nozzle end, if you've got a little bit there, just pull it out, let it go, and it'll generally force itself back into the balloon and head out of the way. It takes me a few goes. Let's speak in this video. It doesn't always happen right away from me either. And if it does for you, I'm jealous. Anyhow, so this is what we're looking at right now, and this is on the reverse side. We're going to twist off a small bubble. It's about the same as we did on the first side, and I do that to help get the green, or the remainder of the green balloon, at about the same level as the bottom of those petals, so that when I create the next 3 leaves, it's not forcing itself more into the actual flower, but resting just on the outside of it. So I'm going to go ahead and create petals, or leaves, in the same way that I did the petals, but one doubled over that's about the size of my hand. Okay, so we've got petal, we've got leaf number 1. I'm going to repeat that method 2 more times to have 3 leaves. And this is what we're looking at. We don't have too much uninflated balloon left, which is great. We're on track to finish with no air left in that green, or no air to play with left in that green stem. I'm going to twist off the next small section of bubble. This is approximately the same size as the first 2 that we did for this green balloon. Followed by one more, which I'm going to pinch. So with the pinch twist, if it's a newish concept to you, if you're starting out, you're going to pull that bubble away from the other 2, twist it around itself, and it's got that lovely little shape occurring. And I'm going to go ahead to create one final leaf, again aiming for the same size of these other 3 leaves. And then to give it a bit of dynamic shaping, I like to create a bit of a Z or S shape, a squish, and give that stem a bit of a playful shape. So there you have it. You've got the flower, and straighten it out slightly, got a bit out of shape. what I'm going to go ahead to do is introduce the ladybug to it as well. Oh, and if you have a play with how you position the leaf, so we're going to take it from the flowers facing the top to facing the side. It's pretty cute, and often if I'm just doing the flower, that's how I'll hand it over to the child. But because we're adding the ladybug, I like normally to have it facing straight up, reaching for the sky, and we're going to put in that ladybug. So if you are creating them at the same time, go ahead to create your ladybug. At this stage we haven't put in the antenna because that's what we're going to use to anchor it into that flower. So if you're not sure how to create the ladybug, go ahead to have a look at last week's videos and you should find it right in there. But to introduce the ladybug to the flower, we're going to take these antennae. We're going to introduce it to the flower by bringing it underneath the petals and pulling it to the and go ahead to take your ladybug, place it in between those antennae, and we're going to pull an antenna nice and taut and firm and wrap it around the head to secure it in. I generally like to choose if there is one part of the antenna, one of the antenna which is longer than the other in the arms, to help give it a bit more symmetry when we're finished. But it can also look a bit cute when they're uneven like this. Alright, so there we have it, the cute little ladybug on top of the flower. Bear with me a moment, I want to check something out. Oh yeah, it's still pretty cute if you adjust it so the flower's on an angle, but I do think I prefer it when it's sitting on top. Again, as I mentioned in the last video, it's beautiful on top of a fascinator or a headband to make it like a fascinator, and you can also omit doing the stem and just have it sitting on a flower, which also looks really cute and saves a bit of time. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and I look forward to seeing you again next week for the next one. Oh, I did nearly forget that special thing I was going to tell you. Now, recently I've been playing around with creating my own clip art designs based on the balloons that I twist. So what I do is make something I'm proud of, I take a photo, and then I do some computer magic to make it look nice and pretty, and I'm going to be making my own menus. So I've got approximately 15 or so images that I've done so far, and they're not all of my own original designs, but they are of balloons that I create, which I love. However, so the good fun thing is I am making available designs that I teach you in my videos to be available for purchase, but every now and then I'm going to do a freebie for you. And at the moment you can get my designs exclusively through Holly the Twister Sister. I'll make sure the link is in the little blurb below the video, so you can go there at any time to purchase ones that I've made available through Holly and her kind ways. And then every now and then I'm going to offer you a freebie. So this flower is going to be a freebie just for you. So if you go ahead to visit my website, rainbowofballoons.com, and follow the links to my balloon clip art, and you're going to see this freebie there for you. So again, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.